Hey, I'm Vivacia or Vivi. I'll be your storyteller today, and we're playing Brindlewood Bay. Bay is powered by the Apocalypse clone. It's a little simplified. Think of it as Murder She Wrote with some Lovecraft undertones, but it's a really light and cozy game. Sometimes it gets a little dark, but not graphic. This is not nitty gritty true detective style. This is, we have way too many nephews and we're crotchety old people and we're involving us in stuff that we're not supposed to be involved in. All right, so let me introduce you to Brindlewood Bay. It's a small coastal community in Massachusetts. Was a whaling town in the 18th and 19th centuries. It's now largely like a tourist hotspot. Many of the locals have turned their homes into bed and breakfast, or probably some Airbnbs, but that's not the locals really who do that. The town has antique shops, comfy dining spots, artists, artisans, museums. One of them a whaling museum. One of them is a museum completely made out of creepy dolls because heritage, whatever. There's a lot of guided fishing trips. Tourists come from the local fish market is actually rated 4 stars in many guidebooks. Now for our cast of characters. They are all in their golden years. They're the Murder Mavens. They're part of a small mystery book club, and they have been meeting on the top floor of the Candlelight Booksellers every Saturday evening for the last 10 years. And the Murder Mavens are really, really fond of the Gold Crown Mysteries series, written by Robin Masterson, and it features the globe-trotting super sleuth Amanda Delacourt, and she has all of these cool adventures that all y'all love, and every time a new one comes out, all over it. Yeah, book club. Now, originally, all of the Mavens are supposed to be single or widowed or divorced elderly women, with an empty nest. However, I always say you be who you want to be. We don't all have to be female. It's cool if we are. It's not, that's fine too. And basically, you are enjoying your golden years in this picturesque town, keeping your home the way you want to, doing your cozy hobbies, and, hanging out with each other for comfort and companionship. But you're also super nosy, and you keep ending up helping the local police solve several high-profile crimes. Now, as we come in, imagine the camera swoops in. This is the beginning, and it comes into Brindlewood Bay. It shows you the port and the bay, and it flies on over to, let's see who we're going to go to Miss Evelyn's home. Miss Evelyn, where do you live? What does your home look like? What are you doing?
Evelyn lives in a very quaint little bungalow that she's had for many years that she used to live in with her husband, Jacob, who passed away a while ago, but at least he got to see their fourth grandchild born. So that was a bonus for him. But she mostly spends her days scrapbooking and reading Delacour novels and Delacourt. I don't remember.
Yeah, Delacourt. So is she in her scrapbooking room right now? Working on
She
something?
She is usually in her scrapbooking room, if not just toting around town. Um, Often you can see her with those disposable cameras in the little cardboard case that she will then take down to the drugstore to get developed so that she can add them to her scrapbook.
Old school. I love that. So as the camera swoops away from Miss Evelyn, where she's sitting with her scrapbook and all her nice decorative scissors and everything, it swoops on over, and we're making our way over to Miss Ruby's house. What is Miss Ruby doing? Where's she living?
Ruby lives in a nice house on the beach, and she lives there because her hobby is surfing. But when she's not catching a wave, well, she's playing a bit of cards. And today's game is penny and ante, or nothing if you are wearing Spanx. And we go until all the beer's gone.
Oh, she is definitely the fun one. I can see, the music probably picked up a little and made like the little fun noises. Ting, 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 ting. And then, as it swoops further on out and we're making it to Miss Mavis's home. How does that look like?
Well, Mavis probably, if this is our sort of intro sequence, I don't think we see her at home because home isn't necessarily, it is to some extent her cozy place, but it doesn't really sum her up. She is more summed up by sort of being up on one of the sort of scenic vista overlooks with the coast and the beach, and there's some trees, and she's there, and she's got her binoculars up. And ostensibly she's there bird watching, but she is spending at least as much time looking at what the tourists are doing down on the beach as she is at the birds as they're flitting around.
Silently judging their behavior, absolutely. And they better not be leaving any trash on our beaches.
I mean, having a little fun with it too, looking to see if there is anyone who's up to some mischievous behavior, or having a little fun down on the
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm thinking, you can probably hear some bird calls in the back as the camera swoops on out, and we're making it over to Miss Georgina's home. How does Miss Georgina's home look?
The Miss Georgina, her house is it's a big old house with an old truck out front that's broken down and a big barn out back that's kind of half leaning to the side, and you see her kicking over a pail that's got a couple of dead rats in it, and she's like, "All right, it worked. Get out of my garden." Well, I guess you're already dead. Leaving them? No, shit. All right. She gets a shovel and she shovels them back up and throws them back in the bucket. I should dispose of them properly. She takes the bucket and she drops it in the back of the pickup truck. Walks over and grabs a big old regular size shovel and heads over to this big row of dirt mounds and kind of starts digging in it.
Yeah, she definitely has a cool, she's just, I'm thinking she would be the cool friend who would come over and bury the body for you. Definitely. Maybe she already did. We don't know that, right? All right.
What body?
So
We're not here to solve that.
No. That has already been solved. It was an accident. Totally an accident. Natural causes, right? Don't piss off Miss Georgina, else you're going to die off the natural causes of pissing her off. So today is actually a really, really interesting day in Brindlewood Bay because the Brindlewood County Charity Poker Tournament is a popular annual event, and that happens. And now all your little flip phones start binging because you set yourself an alarm. It's time to get ready and head over to the community center where you are going to be playing and trying to raise some money for your favorite charity in this poker game. So, you guys, get ready. Are you going to get dressed up, or you think you're just going to go in your normal clothes? I mean, this is a special event.
I'll put on the clean rubber boots.
I mean, clean.
Evelyn will get all gussied up and do up her hair.
Is she coloring her hair, or is she going white?
No, she just leaves it white.
Probably just missing the phone. Oh, damn, I forgot. And then, okay, all right, ready.
Signed up for this. Now I gotta do it.
Mavis is already in her going out clothes, which is like 2 layers of cardigan. Very sensible.
Yeah.
Evelyn has a similar sense of fashion.
Ah,
yeah,
we'll
it's like the wind is kind of cold from the coast, Right. So as you guys get there, probably roughly around the same time. I mean, you set your alarms all together to make sure that everybody would be on time, so you could all meet and go together. So the scene is it's a bustling. There's excitement for anyone in Brindlewood Bay is like gathering around for the tournament, and as you come into the community center, what unusual objects do you think the organizing committee used to decorate the town hall for the event? When you look around, what do you see that maybe other towns would not use to decorate?
Driftwood.
Yeah.
Broken surfboards.
I think we walk in and we see just a giant banner decorated with seashells. It spells out "Welcome."
Ooh, that
It
is
is
nice.
Some rusty crab
So
pots.
nice.
Lots of
Yeah.
rusty seashore stuff.
And we said that this is like an old sort of Massachusetts coast whaling, so there's probably some like slightly questionable, outdated, like it's like, oh, here's an old whaling harpoon up on the wall, and like, is that cool? I don't know.
I
I
know,
am
and
actually
All
thinking
the
that
ignore
the
the
tourists
fact-
banner,
we in town know that it is cool, but all the
yeah,
tourists
but
aren't.
everybody else would be like, eh.
Yeah, and the locals all ignore the fact that it got put up there right after it was taken out of the whale and never cleaned. It was just put on the wall.
Yeah.
Just left it there. I'm thinking that probably the local school children from the St. Mary of the Sea probably made that banner, so they had something to do in school. So
I think that
you
harpoon is pointed at a novelty cartoon whale, Wally the whale,
Wally
our
the whale.
mascot.
Oh, you know what? For the children, there's probably one of these little placemats where they can color on, and Wally the whale will be on there, and probably some poker cards for them to color on too. So as you sign in, you realize you're all assigned to different tables because there's it's a pretty big group. There's multiple rounds until there's one final table. Now, what charity do you think your character would have picked to raise money for today?
Oh, definitely the Murder Mavens.
Are we a
Oh,
charity?
are you an LLC, not for profit? I don't know.
No, but the
Local
winnings would
Children's
go
Hospital.
to buy future Delacorte books for the group.
Future mystery writers of the New England coast from the hospital children? I don't know.
Local Children's
That's the name of the
Hospital.
charity. That's the full name.
It's like a future mystery mavens of Massachusetts. You know what? I actually think that might have been something Ruby would have totally done as a globetrotter. She would have known how to set up y'all's non-profit. That you're actually part of a non-profit, and if you're raising money for yourselves, and maybe you're buying books for the library too, or the bookstore downstairs. Who knows? Maybe you're the only one who keeps them in business.
For the local schools, we buy every time there's a new Delacorte book, we buy all of them. We keep a copy for ourselves and donate the rest to the schools.
It's important to promote reading.
Exactly.
Very good. So
Of our
as
favorite books.
Yeah.
as you come in and you pick up your chips, and you wish each other luck, you hear a whole bunch of whispering, and the name Charles Ace Rogers keeps coming up, and Ruby especially would know that Ace Rogers is a professional poker player from Vegas. And you hear some people are really excited that he's here, that he got recruited to play in this tournament. Other people are not so happy that it's an outsider who gets to play, no matter who he is. So you overhear everybody is kind of like in this hustle and bustle that there's a professional poker player here to like present and elevate you guys' tournament. And then as you sit down, you don't even know who it is, but somebody says, and I never heard of this charity that he was hired on for. It's the Society of the Kindly Ones. Kind for what? Ones who? I really don't think they should have brought an outsider in. And then, that person walks away. You just hear the heels clicking, click, 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 click. And the mayor in the front, also sitting at one of the tables. His name is Jeff Simmons. He's kind of army in an expensive suit. He stands up and he, welcome to the yearly Brindlewood County Charity Poker Tournament. You all know that we are here to raise money, and even if you do not win every round that you make, we will actually give money to these charities from your entry fees. So depending on how far you're getting, you might actually raise some money. Also, if you get a bunch of chips, they actually have this weird little thing that you could trade some of the chips that you have for the donation, but then you wouldn't have as many to play at the table. They're being sneaky. All right. So as You guys go towards your table. Evelyn ends up at the table with the mayor. He shakes her hand a little too hard. Has this fake little smarmy smile on, and you can tell he's already in re-election mode. He is, saying, "So lovely to see you this evening, Miss Evelyn. I can see that the charities of Brindlewood Bay are in such good hands tonight. If you could just smile for the camera, please." And somebody comes and takes a picture of you guys, and then he turns to the next
She sticks her
person.
tongue out during the picture.
that will probably end up being in the Brindlewood Beacon, the local newspaper. Yeah. They probably all know Miss Evelyn. So that is her table. At the next table, where Mavis settled down, Mavis sits next to a little bit of a younger woman, very tall and lanky. She has some well-worn clothes. She has a really, really intense stare. She has like her hands on her chips, and she's just really, really focused. And she introduces herself, and she says, "My name is Amelia Emerson. I'm here to for the newts."
I'm
The
sorry,
newts.
did you say the newts, darling?
Yes, did you know that the eastern speckled newts is one of the few newt species that gives birth to live young?
I said nudes.
I mean, that's a very different kind of TV show. I
Yes.
don't think we can air that.
Yeah, and then Mavis realizes, oh, she is speaking about the relatively new charity that was established when the rare eastern speckled newt was discovered in the Brindlewood Fen. So yeah,
Sure.
she is speaking about amphibians. Like everybody knows what newts are and what she's talking about. Seems to be very focused on that. She has this really, really piercing glare, like.
Well, I see you've brought your game face, so hope that the best newt wins. I thought I had a joke there, darling, but seems I didn't. Oh well.
All right, and then we're getting over to the next table, and right next to Ruby sits her old arch nemesis, Mariah Prescott. She's kind of acting like a dowager. She comes from old money. She's wearing a twin set and some pearls. She got that condescending kind of glare on us. Way too much perfume. She's the matriarch of one of Brindlewood Bay's oldest family, and she believes this entitles her to have a say in everything and how everything should be run. And, she is actually there competing for the Brindlewood Bay Historical Society, which she chairs. Yeah, always. And she's like sitting there, and she's just like, "I can't believe that the organizing committee agreed to allow an outsider to compete in this tournament. No good will come of it. You mark my words." Not that
Hello,
you should be
Mariah.
participating.
I didn't see you there.
I'm
could
trying not to
smell
see
you.
you, Miss Ruby. I'm trying not to see you.
Oh, the feeling's mutual. But don't worry. I could smell you.
She's like, yeah, probably everybody can smell that. It's like she bathed in it. All right. So next there's actually a table that Georgina will sit on, and right next to Miss Georgina sits Tony Martinez, the reigning champion. He won last time. He is wearing a tweed jacket. He's a local math teacher at the high school, and he's supporting the Fresh Start Foundation, a group that helps ex-convicts gain job skills. And he seems to be nervous, like he's under a lot of pressure, and he's being a little rude, to be honest, when he's talking to people. He's like kind of snapping and kind of just short. "I'm not intimidated by Ace and his flashy Vegas style. A calm and a little like a mind is what makes a great poker player. Stop fidgeting at this table. We don't fidget in poker." Yeah, he's wearing his tweed jacket. He got this unkempt hair. He's the math teacher. So he feels the pressure that he has to win again this time. All right. So that is who you guys are playing with in the very first round. Now, to compete in your very first round, you get to roll either with composure or with reason to see how you do in this round, which is 2d6 plus composure or reason. And Miss Ruby gets to roll an advantage. So Miss Ruby rolls 3d6 and picks the two highest because, her cozy activity is cribbage. So she has a little bit of an advantage, playing with people.
In real life, I have disadvantage because I only have 1d6.
I'll just roll it 3 times. All right.
Should I roll?
How's Miss Evelyn doing?
Miss Evelyn, I'm rolling 2d6, you said?
Yes, 2d6, and you either add composure or reason to it.
Yeah, I would choose my composure.
Okay.
3 and 4, 7 is 9.
All right. So you actually did pretty good in this round. You're advancing, but you can now choose either you made a significant amount of money for your charity, turned in some of your chips, but made money for your charity. You learned something about the mayor or somebody else that sits at your table, or you make sure that one of the competitors at the table loses. So since you rolled it, so you can make a lot of money for your charity. You can make sure that the mayor loses, or you can find out something about him that he might accidentally let drop.
As much as I want to make money for the charity and or learn some information, she really just wants to see the mayor get kicked out of the tournament. So
All right. So which means Miss Evelyn is dodging. She is badgering the mayor. She's tricking the mayor into going all in and lose all of his chips. And he tries to play it off as like he's a good sport about it, but you can see he's pissed. He wanted the exposure of sitting on that final table. Yeah. So so Miss Evelyn is advancing to the next round. Now Miss Mavis, you're sitting at the table with Miss Amelia. See how you're doing.
Let's see. I got my composure and reason are the same, so it doesn't really matter which. I got a total of 8.
Oh, okay. That means you make it 2. What would you like to take some good amount for money for your charity? Would you like to learn something about Miss Amelia Emerson, or would you like to make sure that she doesn't make it to the next round?
I think I'd like to learn something about her. I think I'd like to sort of sniff out as we're playing. Mavis is chatting. She's being very genial and asking some questions at the right times when, she thinks that the competition might be a little distracted already. Tries to get
Right.
some information about her, out of her.
Right. So with that, you're getting your very first clue. From looking over her shoulder when she got a text message before the thing started. She got a message from her lawyer about a lawsuit that she had filed against the mayor because he's trying to drain the Brindlewood Fen where the newt was found for a future development. And she is
Sure.
trying to sue him for that and get them to stop and make sure that it's a nature preserve.
Oh,
Right. And now Miss Ruby, sitting at your nemesis's table. How do you do?
I didn't realize we had a clues tab. I'm so happy. 3, 5, 6. Okay, 5 and a 6 for 11.
All right.
And
You
even
definitely
though
succeed.
And even though they're both the same, I'm going to say that she's going to use composure as she very carefully and delicately fleeces Mariah for all she's worth.
Yeah, Mariah, prim and proper, she starts sweating, and she's definitely very unhappy that she's losing to her nemesis, you know, and should have known, you and
Oh,
your
bad
gambling
luck, dear.
addiction.
Bad luck, dear. See you at
And-
the next Historical Society meeting.
And Miss Mariah, she stomps off. She's very, very much unhappy. She joins the catering table.
Bless her heart.
Yes, and now Miss Georgina, who is sitting with the reigning champion, Tony Martinez. How did she do?
All right. Come on, card. Carl, go over me. Double sixes.
Ooh, very
Carl.
nice.
Carl.
So not only do you get to choose that, you actually rolled well enough that you're making it to the final round.
Oh,
It's
we'll
like
have a ringer.
Yep, you have enough money that there is no way that the next round can keep you away from the finals.
Good.
So, would you like to, give some of the money, some of the chips away to get some money for your charity, learn something about the reigning champion, or you want to ensure that he doesn't get to sit at the final table with you?
Oh, it's early. I want to learn something about him.
So, what you realize is, well, he is raising money for this Fresh Start Foundation, that helps the ex-convicts gain job skills. After your table, you actually realize that he seems to be in pretty tight with Mike Taylor. He's the caterer, in his chef's whites. And you realize, oh, yeah, something that you forgot. Mike with his tattooed hands, he was a career criminal until the Fresh Start Foundation helped him to get chef's training and establish the catering company. And the organizing committee, has him cater for
Mhm.
for today. And as he sees you looking at him, he nods and says, I just hope that whichever charity wins is one that will give back to the Brindlewood Bay community. The gluten-free cupcakes are on the blue plates, ma'am.
What if I want extra gluten?
I have not made anything with extra gluten. I will consider that next time, ma'am.
Ads. Anyway, can I get a beer?
And he points over to, the
Where's
little
Light?
open bar.
Or Rainier?
We don't have waitresses. You'll have to go get it at the window.
What kind of place is this? All right, it's your
Listen.
carpet. She gets up and I stepped in some mud on the way in from the car. Sorry. And kind of stomps over to get a beer. Just mud tracks.
So you've got a couple minutes, break between now and then.
Ruby is
Yeah.
already at the bar. Gina, darling, how have you been?
Oh, did all right. How are you doing? Did you win?
Oh, of course I did. Was playing against Mariah. She has no poker face whatsoever.
I beat the pants off of Martinez.
Good for you. It's all for charity after all, and also a lot of fun.
It was
did you-
fun.
Listen, did you? And I pass her a beer.
Oh, thank you. Finally, some damn service in this place.
Listen, did you want to come by later? Perhaps, partake a little bit. Got some new medicinals and some new edibles in.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've also I picked up some of those new grow lights you were telling me about, and I think this year's crop is gonna be amazing.
Bless you. Let's so look forward to it.
I got a green thumb. It's amazing.
So it's almost time for y'all to settle back at your tables. But what are Evelyn and Mavis doing on their break?
Evelyn is getting a disposable camera, taking pictures of the mayor and Mariah's walk of shame as they sullenly leave the poker tournament.
Oh, Mavis is right there next to her laughing the whole time.
Oh, maybe this is definitely going into the scrapbook.
Darling, I wouldn't have it any other way. This is absolutely wonderful to see. Were you responsible for one of them?
For the mayor. He's
The
such
mayor-
a pain in the ass.
Very well done. Very well done.
Yeah, so yeah, both of them they don't really leave, especially the mayor, since he is the one who's supposedly hosting this as the mayor, so he still has to do, all of the announcing, and Mariah is just like hanging out with her cronies who all got kicked out in the first round because they very clearly have no poker face whatsoever. You can also see that Charles Ace Rogers has, also easily made it to the next round. As you settle at the next table, Ruby and Mavis sit together, and they're actually sitting with a pretty known figure. They're sitting with Mr. Dan Gardner. He's a property developer, well dressed, balding, keeps checking his phone, keeps getting told he can't check his phone when the playing starts. And you know that he's a property developer with big dreams of modernizing Brindlewood Bay. He often gets into conflict with the Historical Society, which is, why Ruby has heard of him before. And he is competing in support of the Foundation for the Improvement of Brindlewood County, a registered charity that is little more than a lobbying group for his development plans. And you can just hear him.
I like whoever just put a clue in, calling him a bit of a dick.
It's like babbling. Have you seen all these dilapidated old houses on the primal coastal real estate? They ought to be declared a safety hazard and raced, to flat Earth so that we can build some condos.
Well,
And
Mr. Gardner, if you ask me, it does seem like there's plenty of room for condos in the Fen. I'm surprised you're not just planning on anything there.
well, we will need permission to build there. I mean, it would have an amazing view, but I would love to build there, but permissions are
sure
hard
you
to
would.
get. And he throws,
Sure you would.
an evil eye at Mariah. And the Historical Society is really not doing me or the future of this place any favors. And he kind of, it's just, he has one of these 3-piece suits with a vest, and his belly is kind of like popping out. And he's just like, I wish we really got to bring Brindlewood Bay into the future.
Well, that sounds wonderful, dear.
Evelyn leans over to Ruby and goes, "You didn't tell me that Mariah did something right for once."
No, am I going to have to praise her now?
Yeah, you guys are definitely on tables right next to each other, and Evelyn and Georgina are at the other table, and they're actually sitting close to Miss Danny Walsh. She's the reporter for the Brindlewood Bay, and she got some sharp eyes, a charming smile. She looks a little like a Pacific Islander, and she's really, really cute. And she dreams of being a Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative journalist, which is difficult because she works for this small community newspaper, the Brindlewood Beacon. And, mostly she writes these feel-good human interest stories for the Beacon, but she's always on the lookout for some kind of scandals. And you know her because, from some of your other cases, she always tried to get the inside scoop when you guys came and solved something or helped the police.
So your name is Danielle.
Yeah, Danielle or Danny Walsh. And all the names are in the clues tab too, so that I made sure because so that we don't get names mixed up. And she kind of leans over to Evelyn and says, "Yeah, do you have any idea what the Society of the Kindly Ones actually does? And how were they able to entice a big name Vegas player to come here? I mean, Brindlewood Way is not really big. I really got to find out what they do."
Sorry, who did she say that to?
To you.
Oh, I have no idea. I've never heard of them before. But I must say, now hearing that Daryl there, what was his name? What's the developer's name?
Dan Gardner.
Dan? Dan. Hearing Dan there saying that he wants to develop the Fens, a beautiful natural reserve and historical area of our community, and just condos. I hope Mariah doesn't mess up the historical significance of that as much as she did her last poker hand.
Yeah, and as you say that, you see on on like a different table, there is Amelia Emerson giving Dan the stink eye. She's just scowling at him and just staring at him, hand on her chips, like very clearly not happy with Mr. Gardner. All right, now everybody roll me, and we know Georgina doesn't need to roll because she isn't going to make it to the final table. But if you want to roll to see if to get any more perks, but you can't get kicked out at this point, and everybody else roll to see how you're doing.
That is good. 5.
5 total. All right. Sadly, Ruby, completely thrown by that Mariah has actually done something right, loses track and gets distracted and loses all of her chips and gets kicked out.
Oh, fiddlesticks. Wasn't so high, I might actually be upset right now.
Well, now
Oh,
you
good
got
luck,
some time.
ladies.
Let's step out. Come on.
You bring something?
Of course.
Just a little something. Oh, bless you. All right. Well, good luck, ladies. I'll be back for the finals.
They don't call Georgina Greensleeves for nothing.
So how did Mavis roll?
I squeaked out a 7, so if that's good enough.
All right, let's see. Because you're at the table with Ruby, and you're at the table with Dan Gardner, right?
Yeah.
Actually,
No, we're at the table with Danielle.
oh no, with Danielle. All right, let me roll for Danielle and see if she's going to beat you.
Wait, no, I thought I was at the table with Dan. And
Yeah,
you
not
were at
yet.
the table with Dan.
Oh no, Georgina was at the table with me.
Yeah.
All right, so
I
let's
was at
see
the
if
table with
Dan is
Ruby,
going to
and
get
she
kicked
already
out.
lost, so I maybe I have a better chance of staying in if I'm the one who took her chips. I don't know.
All right, so actually, Mr. Gardner rolled an 8, so he's actually beating you to the final table.
Ah,
But it was a close call. It was a close call. All right, we know Georgina is making it to the final table, but how did she do?
You got which stat are we adding to it? Because I
Either
rolled an 11.
Either composure or reason.
So 12.
All right, yeah. So you did amazing. Again, you'd have won yourself another wild card to the table with a 12. 12 and plus gets you to the final table.
Just want to ask one brief question. Roll the 5 on the dice, it would have gotten +1. Would a 6 have made any difference?
You have to have a 7.
All right, then. See you in the final.
Close.
don't take it
And-
all, dear. I'm coming out on the patio to join you now.
However,
There you go.
both you will still get to pick. Either you make a good amount for your charity, you learn something about the people at your table, or you ensure, well, not him, but Georgina, if you wanted to, you could make sure that Miss Danny doesn't make it.
Oh, I like Miss Danny. It's Dan Gardner. I'm not a big fan of that property he's up against is kind of button up against mine. I would like to hmm. Yeah, so one of the people at the table that's not Ruby. Who else is at the table?
Me.
You
Evelyn.
Evelyn. Can I slip Evelyn a card? Can I help Evelyn make the money? Because I can't make the money. So I'd like to make money for our charity, and the only person at the table that can do that would be Evelyn. So
I mean, you
either
wouldn't have to give her a card. You could just win a couple or lose a couple of hands to her, and
Okay.
give her
Yeah,
advantage to
yeah.
the roll.
Yeah, I
Right?
want to help Evelyn, so I'll do that.
All right. So because I'm thinking when it says make a significant amount of money for the charity, if you lose those chips to your comrade, or if you give him away to take the money
Yeah.
home,
Then I can go with Ruby. Perfect.
right? So how did Evelyn roll?
12.
A 12. All right. Very good. Also making it
Oh,
to
can I
the
roll my advantage dice too?
absolutely. I mean, it's not going to get any better, but
It is. It
Feels
got up to
good.
a 13.
all right. So 12 plus will get you enough chips that you can make it to the table. Also, you get to choose. Are you gonna give some money in exchange it for your charity? You are at the table with Dan Gardner, right?
No, Georgina and I are at the table with Danielle.
Oh, okay. So you could make sure Danny doesn't make it, or you could learn something about Danny.
Let's learn something about Danny.
All right, let's see. All right, I'm going to give you another clue. Oops, that isn't what I wanted to do. Hello, I need my clue list. There's my clue list. All right, so she actually, you see when you look, she's wearing one of these nice blazers with big buttons, and when you look at it closer, one of the buttons looks kind of weird. You think Miss Delacroix in one of her books wore one like this, and it was a camera. So you think Miss Danny might be wearing a hidden camera in one of her blazer buttons. So that is
Let's see.
your second clue.
Hmm.
And again, I have a list, for everyone who's watching. I have a list of random clues, and I will just throw them out wherever they fit. I'll just randomly pick one and making it fit into the situation. So there's nothing that, I pre-planned. I'm not that organized. All right. So knowing that two of the Mavens are making it to the final table. Also at the final table is Mr. Ace Rogers. Also at the final table is Miss Danny and Mr. Gardner. Those are the 5 people at the final table. And now there is a 5-minute break. And then everybody will head on over and see how this tournament will turn out. What are you guys going to do while you're waiting?
As she's getting up from the table, Evelyn will go up to Danny. Say, Danny, I love that blazer. I mean, it's no cardigan, but it is a lovely blazer with very nice buttons. And just make sure the buttons are on my good side at the next table, okay? And then she'll go up to the bar.
Danny is like, okay, Miss Evelyn. And so as you guys, most of the people are now kicked out of the tournament. Everybody is kind of mingling, and you overhear people talking about the scandal that happened at the last poker tournament last year. What was that scandal, and how did you guys connect to the scandal? You thought about something? There was a scandal last year.
I remember distinctly having sampled a little bit of bad material. Got this crazy idea that we could somehow improve upon the town mascot. We were trying to get it off the wall. The ladder tipped over. I grabbed at the whale and I managed to hold on to it, but then of course the weight pulled it off the wall, which pulled off next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and that was quite a mess.
And we know which part you were left holding.
Yes. Damn harpoon.
Broke right off.
But at least they were able to glue it back together. That was so good of them.
What did Miss Mariah think about that, since she's in charge of the historical society right now as the chair? I know you tried to be the chair too, but this time she won.
Oh, of course she didn't like it. Oh, she doesn't like anything. Historical society.
So you overhear people talking about that and pointing out where the little crack is, and kind of sometimes looking at Ruby with the so nice to see you, Miss Ruby.
I remember that, Ruby. And the look on Mariah's face when those aces fell out of her sleeve, priceless.
Oh my god, that was probably one of the happiest days of my life.
So, and now the mayor steps up to the microphone and announces the finalists and asks them to please come sit at the front of the hall for the final round. And everybody sits down, and then suddenly there is a and all the lights go out. And the next you hear is boom, boom. Two things that sound like gunshots, and everybody starts screaming.
Mr. Mayor, that better not be your hand on my bottom.
Oh, my garden knife. What is going on?
Yeah, and you can hear a commotion. There's lots of screaming, and on some point, the caretaker of the community center, Mr. Gerald just screams in his old drill sergeant voice over it. That is enough! And he flips, and the lights start turning back on. And as you look back over to the table, there is Ace Rogers slumped over the poker table, and the blood is just pooling out. He has been shot.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness gracious!
Well, I guess whoever those kindly ones are, they won't be getting their money to do whatever with it.
That wasn't
So-
very kind.
I mean, it does beat swinging from a whale.
Person who did this couldn't have been a little bit more kindly and waited until after the tournament.
All right. So, somebody calls the police. Mr. Gerald has everybody step back from the table. What are you guys gonna do? Now we're coming to the fun part.
I'm
I
certainly
mean,
going to get
is-
as close to the body as I possibly can. Certainly not going to touch it. That's a job for the police, bless their hearts. But we look for some clues somewhere.
All right. So,
Blood, is there... We heard something. Is there holes?
every time you do something that's kind of risky or might fail, you're gonna roll a day or a night move. Since this is the day, you're gonna roll a day move, and we're gonna see, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to reason something out? Are you just trying to figure out something? Then you would roll for reason. If it is oh, you're running after somebody, you would roll with vitality. Sensitivity here is more the supernatural. Presence is more your charisma. So if you're trying to figure out with the blood, or what you're trying to figure out, then I would say you would have to roll reason, which would be 2d6 plus your reason.
Okay. 3 and a 3, so 6, 7.
All right. So with the 7, it's a yes, but. So what are you exactly trying to find out, and how are you doing it?
Trying to get close to the body and just see where he was shot. Because we heard something, so there must be a gunshot. If there are any little holes on his body, and if so, where?
Right. So since you rolled yes, you succeed, but there's going to be a complication. So Actually, you will be able to see that, and I will give you the answer to that. But as you're doing that, you're gonna leave a fingerprint in the blood on the body. If that is what you want to do, you can still choose if you want to know this information or if you rather, pull back.
I'm high enough that I don't give a shit. I'm going in.
All right. Well, let's see. So I'm gonna roll a dice, and I'm gonna say evens in the head, unevens in the torso. Even. 2 shots
Oh.
to the head.
Front or back?
Oh.
Front or back? Or
You can't
side?
tell. She can't tell. She didn't roll that good. But you can tell small caliber.
While she is looking directly, at the body, Mavis is going to be looking around, trying to see if anyone is trying to make a quick getaway from the scene. Heading for exit.
Evelyn as well is doing a similar thing, trying to see where everybody is, if they're in where she can remember them being before the lights went out, or if there's anybody missing.
Okay, so I would be thinking that would be rolling for composure because you're trying to keep yourself composed and be able to pay attention and not panic because somebody
Makes sense.
just got shot in front of you. So go ahead and both of y'all roll for me.
What am I rolling?
2d6 plus composure.
I got an 11 total. I was so close to the 12.
Yeah, but
8.
you definitely succeed.
8.
And 8 succeed, but so
Mhm.
what I'm saying is that Mavis does not see anybody running away, but she finds a pair of gloves on the floor, and they're covered in what you think might be gunshot residue. Here's your third clue. And now for Evelyn, what are you exactly? How are you trying to do it? So we can see how we can give
I'm
you.
just looking around at everybody in the room to see if I can notice anybody that seems to be significantly out of place to where they were from before the lights went out, or if there's anybody missing.
Okay. I'm gonna say yes, you can see, but they will know that you know.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Yep.
Okay. You can see that. Let's see who it is. Of the one store. Ooh, very good. You realize that Mike Taylor, the caterer, is not where he was before the lights turned off. He is the former criminal, the chef. And he looks you straight in the eye, and he realizes that you are looking at him and that he's not right next to the catering table where he was before.
Is he like a significant distance away?
No,
No. Okay.
no, he just moved in between the tables instead of standing to the side by the caterer's table. He is
Right.
now on the floor with in between all the tables.
Okay.
I mean, everything's pretty much chaos right now. Let's be honest.
Are there any bloody footprints or any Georgina's checking the scene.
All right.
That's
I would
looking
say
around.
reason. Roll me some
All right.
reason.
7 + 1 is 8.
All right. So you will find something. Let's see. But in the process, you will have to lose one of your items.
Okay.
You drop
Happy
them.
to.
I'll
Okay.
let you choose which one.
All right, let's see what I find out, and then I'll figure out what I drop.
Right. So you don't find any footprints, but you find a bullet hole that is actually in the table. Not where you expected it to be. There is a bullet hole in the table, in the top fleece.
Okay. So yeah, I pull my Swiss Army knife out and I'm kind of going, like, as I kind of trying to find the trajectory, and I accidentally like stick it in the table, and I'm not strong enough to get it out.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, at that moment, I would say the police are here. The sheriff is here, and he starts fussing at you. Don't you dare touch my evidence, Miss Georgina. You know better. And he confiscates your knife.
She backs up. That's my Swiss Army knife. Carl gave it to me. You better give that back to me later.
Once we know it had nothing to do, I will give it back. Go ahead and mark an X and mark it used, so that shows that you can't use it another time.
Sheriff, stop harassing poor Georgina over there. I'm doing your job for you. Here, there's some clues on the ground. She's pointing at the glove.
Also, sir, you may find a fingerprint on the body that might be mine. I'm just letting you know it's not me. I'm not the killer.
Are you saying you touched the body, Miss Ruby? Is that what you're telling me right now?
It was an accident. A little high.
Ruby was just getting handsy with him before he was shot, Sheriff. You know how she likes the out-of-towner.
And I will admit, he was a handsome man.
I don't know if it's a role to lie poorly to the sheriff, but love it.
My God. All right. So, to be honest, do ahead and roll me a presence thing to see
Okay.
if you can if he believes you or if he thinks you're lying.
Sure.
Because he is not 100% sure, because you are a troublemaker.
That's true, but I did get a 10 on the roll, so.
So, do I have to roll as well?
Yes, because you had
okay,
your
2 and a 6 for an 8.
all right.
Plus 1, 9.
Okay, so which the 10 is a success and the 9 is a success, but so he believes you, but you have to give your fingerprints to be excluded, so that for right now you have to give your fingerprints now. You can't search for any clues right now this minute. So his deputy leads you off and prints you for exclusion prints.
All right, I'm going. Listen, are you going to come by to the next book meeting? And she's just saying that to the deputy that's escorting her away.
And the deputy is
Have
like,
snacks.
Miss Ruby, I'm too young for your club. I have at least another 30 years before I can join y'all. And
Doesn't
he
mean you
leads.
can't come by and serve us snacks.
Right. So actually, right next to the community center is town hall, and so he leads you into their office, and you also pass the mayor's office on the way. So the mayor's office is right next door. Yes. Now, so the police are taking over. You guys really don't have access to the table or the body anymore, but nobody can leave the community center yet. So all the people are still there, aside from
While Ruby's
Ruby.
getting her prints taken,
Yes.
Georgina's gonna go over and get her a cocktail, and just be like, "Here's your," when one hand's free, like black fingertips, and I'll just hand it to you.
Thank you. How do I do this without getting smudges on it?
It doesn't matter.
Like this.
Yeah, so as you
Thank
do
you so
do
much.
that, you see that the door to the kitchen is slightly open.
You see that?
I mean,
Well, I'm
Ruby
incomposed.
still has to get her fingerprints taken, so Ruby might
Listen,
see it, but she
while
can't
I'm
go in there.
incomposed, just maybe take a peek.
Let
Just
me
take a peek
go
for me.
check the lettuce, see if the cooler's working.
All right, go ahead and roll me a meddling move, and since what we're going to do is you have to try and look like you belong. So I'm thinking presence is the right one, because so that nobody stops you before you actually go into the kitchen.
Before I do that, I'm gonna kind of look over and try to catch Evelyn's eye, and just kind of, and then I had kind of duck in. So, but because I know you're good at that stuff. Okay, presence is a 0, so I got an 8.
Okay, so yes, you can make it in,
Uh-huh.
but one of the suspects sees you doing it. Or
Okay.
don't.
Okay. Yeah,
Right.
I think that's fine. I'm not subtle.
All right. So as you are entering the kitchen, you see that Mike the caterer, had set up and a prep area for the
Oh,
evening's refreshments. So that he can redo the punch table, that he can redo all the
good.
food.
Good.
And
Sorry, my
yeah,
mic. I had my mic muted. I was going to
oh,
say, when she's doing that, seeing her signal me that she's going in the other room. Can I create some form of distraction so that people don't notice her go in?
I am actually thinking you could, yes, you could. You would have to roll with presence. But since your special Maven move is Remington Steel, if you wanted to use a prop, I would say yes, add a prop to your cozy little place, and see if you can cause a distraction.
All right. Where's my cozy place just now?
You just gotta give me a good reason how that thing that you're using will help you. Then you can roll. Then you can roll at advantage.
All right. So the food's by the catering table. I'm going to quickly grab something like some crumbs or some sauce or something on my hand and
Mhm.
slap it on my butt. And I'm going to look around and go, look, see, I knew the mayor grabbed my ass when the lights went out. I told you if you did that, I was going to smack you. And I start storming over to the mayor, making a big scene of it.
Fantastic. That's our Evelyn.
All right, roll me at advantage. So 3d6 and the two highest.
11.
All right, very good. That is a success. Everybody is looking at Evelyn's butt and then looking at the mayor, who has his hands up and shows his hands are clean. And he's saying, I didn't touch nobody. I
And Evelyn's
am
pointing
not.
at him, finger right in front of his nose, going, you're probably washing your hands when the police come in and was questioning everybody. And now I'm very upset and I'm going to backhands him right across the face.
And
Don't do it again.
that definitely gives Georgina the upshift from a success but to a success. So nobody sees Georgina as she slips into the kitchen and sees where Mike the caterer has set up all the stuff. Now when Georgina is looking around, what do you see that you think might be a hint of his former life as a criminal? There's something that seems a little bit off.
A loaded gun that's missing 2 bullets.
It would be a little too
Let's
easy.
see. There's a piping. There's a piping bag that's actually a tattoo gun.
Oh, brought his tattoo gun with him. Hmm.
Why not?
But since now that you're in there, you made it in there. Roll me a meddling move
All right.
with either composure or probably composure or reason to see if you
Okay.
can find a clue.
Okay. So they're both a +1. So I got an 11 + 1 is 12.
Right, very good. So you absolutely find a clue. Let's see what we're gonna find. You find a laptop and it's open to a dodgy gambling website. Something that, in the middle of the night, Ruby would have seen advertisement for on TV. Very dodgy. Very shady.
Wonder goes over and this dang mouse. Oh, good. This one has 2 buttons. Okay. Let's see here. 2 tap. Kind of moving around, tapping. Let's look at the names. She'll kind of scroll through like the leaderboard on the dodgy on the Dodgy app. Do I see any Charles Rogers? Any Tony Martinez?
Yeah, you only see usernames.
Dang. All right. Pull out my flip phone. Take a little black and white photo of the usernames. Stick it back in my pocket.
And there you have another clue.
Okay.
So, I'm just gonna say Evelyn is making enough of a stink that you can slip straight back out of the kitchen and nobody knows any better. Now what you also do see is or what you know is that this building actually also has a basement, but you are not quite sure where the door for that is. All right. So now while Evelyn is still yelling at the mayor, Ruby is almost done getting her fingerprints done. What is Mavis doing?
That's what I've been trying to think of. All right, so I don't know that it's necessarily going to help with the fact that we already have one scene happening, but let's make another. You said that we currently sort of don't have direct access to like the table and the immediate area around the body, right?
No,
But there's one more
they kind
thing.
of closed it off so that the veterinarian, that's the medical examiner, has to come and look at the body.
So there's one more thing that Mavis does want to try and look for there. So I think she's gonna do something to maybe generate a situation where she could get down there and look at it, and she's going to do that by going to one of the food tables nearby. They've got hors d'oeuvres or whatever on there, and she's just going to very sort of casually grab it and just tip it over and spill everything onto the floor, so that she then has an excuse to panickedly be crawling around and looking around as though trying to help pick up the mess that she has just made.
I'm actually thinking for that you should probably roll vitality, because you have to
Mhm.
actually lift that table with all the stuff on
That's
it.
what I was thinking as well.
So to see if you can actually tip it over and make it look like you didn't just do it on purpose.
Yeah. Uh that's a total of 7.
That's a total of 7. That is a success, but so you can do it, but one of the suspects sees you doing it.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Right?
If it's only one person noticing Mavis very deliberately shoving over all of the food,
Let's
that's
see.
fine.
All right, let's see who sees you do that. 3, 4. All right, Danny actually sees you turning over
Ah,
the
she's cool. That's no problem.
sees you turning over the table, and after that you put on the performance of oh my god, trying to pick everything up, getting closer.
Mhm.
And then I will need you to roll me a meddling move to
All
see
right.
if you can find a clue that you have not seen yet.
That's a total of 5. I don't think that's gonna cut it. I made a
No,
mess for
that
nothing.
is a complete failure. You don't find anything. But if you wanted to upshift that to a success, but you could put on the Crown of the Queen and narrate one of the little vignettes that are on the list. So we learn a little bit more about Mavis, and that would allow you to upshift it to a success, but. So you could pick one from the Crown of the Queen.
I think I will go with that. I'll go with the Crown of the Queen. I'll put that moment, and we go to a flashback of Mavis and her late partner. Her late partner's name was. We'll go with. Probably should have thought of a name beforehand. We'll go with Nick. His name was Nick. Um, and we see that maybe Nick is not entirely removed from the situation of Mike Taylor, the ex-con. Nick definitely has a sense about him that he was also maybe had a rowdy youth at some point, bit of a troublemaker. And in this flashback to a younger Mavis, we see that she definitely fits in with that concept well. And what we see playing into a little bit of what I'm looking for is that Nick and Mavis are at a shooting range outside. and Nick is sort of showing her the proper handling and firing of handguns, and talking about some of the differences and how they work and things like that. And he makes the note to her in this scene as we flash back that with a regular automatic modern handgun, every time you fire, the shell from the cartridge is going to be ejected, and then you would have to pick that up at the shooting range afterwards. But if you use a revolver, it stays in the cylinder, so it would not fall onto. That is what Mavis has in mind as she is sorting through deviled eggs and pigs in a blanket and really making a worse mess on the floor as she goes, but scrounging around, seeing if she can get a sense of what sort of gun was used for this horrid.
Right. So, I'm gonna say yes, you find a clue, but something will be wrong with this clue.
Okay.
You find a little printout, these little printouts you used to get from your ATM machines that tell you, how much is on your account. It's one of these older style printouts. It's actually from an offshore bank account. But it is ripped so you can't see who owns that bank account, but it has a pretty big number on it.
Interesting. She definitely slides that into the pocket.
Let's say it's from the Cayman Islands. Because, that's where all the cool kids hide their money.
In the meantime, Evelyn has switched from yelling at the mayor to beating him with her purse and calling him a scoundrel and a rodent.
And the mayor is just trying to say, no, I did not, ma'am. I would never do that. I am happily married. I would absolutely not do that, ma'am. And his wife is standing next to him, yelling at you two, like, he would never. He was with me the whole time.
Yeah, like he never did with his secretary.
Oh my God.
Ruby says to the deputy, taking her fingerprints, "Wouldn't you go and help with that? That seems like it's going to get a little violent, doesn't it?"
Yeah, this is probably since all of this already happened, you guys are probably on the way back because he doesn't want to, be away from the action either. He's still a new deputy. He wants to see what's going on. So he took your prints like, all right, let's go back. And
Thank you, darling.
as you're walking by the mayor's office, it looks tightly secured, but what makes you believe someone was here before you that might have looked at the office before?
I think the door is damaged. A bit of a break in the wood. Someone had to maybe force their way in quickly without regard for how it might look.
All right, so as Miss Ruby comes back into the hall, pandemonium. Food everywhere on the floor. The caterer, with his, beautifully tattooed hands. Oh my God, my food. It's everywhere. People are slipping. Miss Mavis is trying to pick stuff up. Her knees are dirty, full of whatever lox or other seafood. Maybe there was some bisque or something. And Evelyn is still yelling at the mayor. Everybody is still there. All the people, all the players, everybody that you met today is still there. They're not allowed to leave yet because everybody has to give a statement. But as of right now, the sheriff and the deputy are a little bit distracted. So it's not moving as quickly as it should. What do you guys want to do?
All right. Evelyn will stop beating on the mayor, yell at his wife to keep her dog on a leash, and go over towards Mavis. On the way, she will pretend to slip on some food and fall and grab Mike, and kind of, feeling to see if she can feel a weapon in his waistband, and then see what his reaction is to her falling and grabbing onto him.
All right. So to do that, I would say you got to roll vitality, but as a disadvantage. You are an old lady and he's a criminal. So roll 3d6 and use the 2 lowest.
8.
8. All right. So, yes, you can do it, but, or, because I think this is actually really, really cool, you could go to commercial break and, give us a senior commercial and I'll give you an upshift to a success. So
Okay.
for the people who are watching, a commercial break in Brindlewood Bay is something the keeper can offer, and the player will get a theme for a senior related commercial. The player will have to improv this commercial to get an upshift in their or a success in their role. Now you can also say we're going to save this for later. I normally only do one of those per game.
Can I ask what the product is first?
Nope.
Are we as the other players
let's do
allowed
it.
to
Let's
like
do it.
pitch in and support the improv?
Yeah, can we help?
Yes, but he would have to do the most of it.
All right, let's do it.
All right. We're gonna be
We
evil.
see
Yes.
Evelyn teetering towards Mike and her hand outstretched toward his waist, and then we cut to commercial.
We cut to commercial. It's like doom 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 doom. And we return to the show after the following messages. Hemorrhoid cream.
Hemorrhoid cream? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I mean, I can't give you life alert. That would be too easy. I can't give you. I have fallen. I can't get up. That's too easy. So hemorrhoid creams.
I was actually hoping for depends because that's something I have familiarity with. All right, hemorrhoid cream. Let's see. How are we going to do this?
Maybe I can help.
Start him
Let's
off.
see. The camera pans through a park, and there is 2 seniors walking next to each other, and one says,
I think I need a rest. Let's just have a seat on this bench. Oh no, George. Sitting's not good for me these days. Oh, what's the matter, Johnny? Well, it hurts a little bit when I do that. It has for a couple of days now. Oh, you got one of them there hemorrhoids, do you? Well, you should try this preparation H. It's excellent for it. Stings a little bit and it's kind of funky to put on, but definitely quick results.
and on the bottom, all the side effects. Do not take this. Do ask your doctor before taking. And here comes the
Murder.
murderer. No, murders your butt. No, okay. I think that was pretty good. That was pretty good, especially since you totally were not prepared for that part. So yes, I'm gonna give you an upshift, and let's see if he does carry a weapon. We're gonna say evens weapon, unevens no weapon. Ooh, unevens. No, he's not actually carrying a weapon on him. You kind of actually are able to pull down his white pants a little because they're not,
Only one weapon there.
yeah, only the natural weapons, and they're, and these guns. So, and as you look over, you can actually see that Danny is standing right next to the mayor with her little pad and questioning him, and the mayor is still saying, "I don't touch any of the women. I don't even go anywhere alone with other women. I am married."
While this
Evelyn
is going on,
straighten herself up while she's getting up, and she's like patting Mike on the chest and the arms. Oh, thank you for catching me, Mike. Oh, you're such a strapping young lad.
He's kind of, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Are you okay? Are you okay? I'm so sorry that you slipped on my foot, ma'am. It was good too." inexpensive.
She's like, groping his chest and arms, going, "This is very
Groping
good.
the
Yes,
other guns,
very
right?
good, very good. Yes, I'm okay. Thank."
I maybe assume that Georgina has come out of the kitchen at this time, and I just kind of give her over. Come here.
Or I flip my phone open. Do you recognize any of these names?
Do I recognize any of the names?
No. Yeah, like kind of random usernames. They're not
One,
really
two, three,
related.
jerk.
Yeah, not naughty girl 14, something like that.
Seymour Butts sounds familiar, but I can't quite place why.
Huh. These
But
are.
anyway,
What did you find?
Look. Mayor's office door. Someone's broken in.
Oh, that's a convenient. If you break it when there's a loud, that's a convenient moment to break a doorknob.
Exactly what I was thinking. Shall we go in?
Yes, of course. I've got
Let's.
I got a lighter. Let's go.
What
Right.
do you need the lighter for?
Because there's no lights.
Thought the lights came back on.
Well, they might go back out and then. Anyway, I
Oh,
didn't have
that's
a
good
flashlight.
thinking. Good preparation. All right, and I'm gonna try the door.
The door to the basement.
Yeah, the door that looked a little broken.
Oh, the mayor's office door.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
She's so high she accidentally picked the basement door. Here we go.
That would have been pretty much hilarious. And I'm thinking this would be a perfect time to go to a break if our dear tech goblin is ready to send us to break. I'm thinking it is now time to go to a real commercial break, and afterwards we're going to open the door, or try to open the door, into the mayor's office. Time for some bio breaks. See you in a little bit.
I feel like we've got a few people in the chat.
Evelyn's all primed to question Mike.
Yeah, I mean, they all would have motive. That's the good
Mhm.
thing. Hi, Kat. Are you being the co-producer again?
Well, we're live, so good kitty.
He always
So
wants
clarification. The gloves on the floor with gunshot residue. What kind of gloves were they?
That was a
Uh,
question that I also had in mind. I forgot to ask it in
leather
the moment.
gloves. You can't really tell if they're male or female, but
Okay,
they're
just like sort of work gloves.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
are we talking
they're
like
they're
riding
not
gloves?
like not construction, more like like these like black kind of thick leather gloves.
Okay, so the kind that many people might.
Oh, we're live already. That's nice. Hi. We're just chatting over here, and we're already live. Oops.
We
Hi.
have been for a little bit.
I'm not paying no attention.
That's why we asked about we waited to ask about the gloves until we were live again, so the audience also
So
knows.
I am
the information.
clearly very well prepared today. Absolutely no clue. It's the co-producer's fault. I'm blaming Timmy. Right. So yeah, definitely some black leather gloves of pretty good quality.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But they're not
Ooh.
the work gloves, with the canvas and the leather on it. No, they're like leather gloves, kind of thick.
So if they don't fit, we will acquit.
It's like you couldn't really tell, if they're for a female or a male hand because
Okay.
you didn't really get close enough to put your hands right
Yeah,
next to it.
Mavis, unlike some of our numbers, Mavis didn't get her fingerprints all over the clues.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'll walk over the phone and show these usernames to my friends.
Yes.
Okay,
And
yeah. So
right
the
now,
the
Ruby
murder
is,
mavens convene.
yes, because when the camera comes back in, there's Ruby primed to try and open the mayor's door.
The rest of us are
that's what we're
we're
doing.
all stacked up on the door, just like three of us chatting, and
Like,
Ruby
chatting,
there, like,
chatting,
all
and-
right, when do we
and
want to go
these
in?
You guys
usernames.
recognize these number names?
It's like, who could this be? All right, roll me a meddling move with, let's see.
You can do it, Rubes.
Yeah, let's see with vitality. See if you can open this door.
Thing that I have 0 in.
Do you want me to take it? I've got a
I
one
can
in
help.
vitality. Mavis will
We
bust
can
down
help.
the door.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
Actually, I
since you
thought if
have
it was-
two other ladies with you, you can roll an advantage.
Thought since it was locked, perhaps you could use your gardening tool to maybe wedge it open.
Oh, right. So I take my gardening knife out and kind of stick it. It's got dirt crumbling all over the ground, which is all over my desk right now. Stick it kind of between the doorknob and the thing, kind of wedge it in there and kind of back and forth, trying to see if she can get it.
Oh dear, we're leaving evidence all over the place.
Yeah.
Was
Mark it
this-
off on your list, and yeah, you could definitely roll it with advantage.
Okay. Oh, something better than a. You said vitality?
Yeah. What did you say?
8.
8. Well, that is a success, but so yes, you can definitely get that door open, but it will then not close anymore because you guys will have broken it. So the next person will absolutely who comes by will see that that door has been cracked open violently. There's dirt on the floor.
The last
Blame it
person
on the
didn't exactly.
moles.
The last person didn't really cover their tracks very well. I mean, we were obviously able to see it. Anyone could. I'm sure it's not going to be a problem.
We were just lost looking for the bathroom.
Absolutely just fell against the door and it popped open. All right, so you guys come into the mayor's office, and something in here gives you kind of an uneasy feeling about the mayor. What is it?
Can any of us answer?
If you're in the room, yes.
I feel like the mayor's too into taxidermy.
Oh, absolutely. He probably has like an otter or in like a
Yes.
seabird.
At
Something
least
like
2
that.
previous pets that have been
Oh, yeah.
stuffed.
Oh,
Yeah, like he
so-
has
so-
like
so-
a
so
cat and
little
a dog
squeaky dogs.
up on like a shelf, and they're just sort of like standing there looking at anyone.
And the
in the
eyes
room.
are wrong.
The
The eyes are
eyes.
so wrong.
They were done with like glass human eyes.
that definitely sounds creepy. Yes, that would make me uneasy too. Let's be honest. All right. So if you guys would like to search the office, you can do that. Just pick one of y'all who's gonna roll with reason, and since it's all of y'all, I'm just gonna let you use advantage because I'm saying you are all doing it together, and one of y'all has to roll with reason to see if you can find a clue.
I'll do
I
it.
vote for Georgina
I got-
because she's been rolling very well tonight.
And I have enough
That's a 12.
dice, and you have 1.
Yeah.
This is also true.
All right. So 10 plus 1 is 11sies.
All
Ooh.
right. You definitely do find a clue. Oh, what you do find is you find one of these poster rolls. And what peeks out is blueprints. And if you take them out, you see that they are plans to drain the Brindlewood Fen and blueprints for a condominium shopping area.
They're in
Oh,
it together. The mayor, Jeff. Can't even Dane call him anything other than his first name. Jeff, Dan, they're in it together. I knew
Quickly,
it.
take a picture. Take a picture.
The flip phone.
Flip phone out. I'm running out of memory. I've already got 3 pictures.
darling, did you not put in that micro SD card I gave you last Christmas?
No, I dropped it. I was trying to put it in and I dropped it down the drain.
Ruby just pulls out the latest iPhone she doesn't know how to use at all. Got it as a gift from her grandchildren. All right, hang on. There. All right, now I've got to take a picture. Oh, it was
You
facing
look
toward me. I think I
great.
just
Look
took a
at
selfie.
you.
Evelyn, use your Kodak.
I'm not there.
And it would take a while to develop that too. So you
Should
can't
have brought
can't
my
leave yet.
Polaroid. I knew it.
Run down to the local pharmacy, like, we need you to develop our crime scene photos. We're on the
Nobody right
case.
now. Nobody's allowed to leave.
We'll get there later. But they'll be done in an hour. That's newfangled technology.
So yeah,
Well, it looks like
I'm
the
thinking
mayor.
after multiple, selfies that look like. Yeah, Ruby finally
Turn the
manages
flash off.
to take
You're right.
pictures without the flash because that would
Can you turn
blow
it
up
around again?
the blueprints. And she manages to take pictures of it, and you guys can
She
put
does.
it back.
She never figures out how to turn it around. You know what?
Perfect.
Here. Let's just do this.
Let's
Just
do it like
Let's
that.
do this.
So yeah, the plans to drain the Brindlewood Fen are definitely another clue.
Hmm.
Think the mayor's taking kickbacks?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Don't forget that you found the leather gloves, you found bullet holes in the table.
Oh yeah.
You also found the printout for the offshore bank account. Sadly
the
ripped
angle.
with no name on it.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to me someone's obviously benefiting financially from developing the fens.
Also, the hidden camera on Danny's
Oh yeah.
shirt.
Oh, yeah. That was a
Now, once we get to the theorizing move, you don't have to use all the clues, but you got to use as many as you can because they will bring down the roll that you have to beat to know if you have the right.
The angle of the bullet holes. It looked like it was coming from above
Mhm.
into
was-
the table.
Yeah, and it's
We
definitely
didn't
not
look up to see if somebody was in the
rafters.
above.
It could have been someone up above. It could also have been someone who was right there close. If they were standing next to Ace as he was sitting down.
Oh. Who was right there?
Was
Nobody.
sitting next to Ace.
Well, the others at the table, so
So are you guys actually still discussing this in the mayor's office where somebody could still find you after you broke in?
probably. To be
Oh, we
fair.
probably forgot we were in there.
God, I just
pretty
realized we probably
standard.
shouldn't be in here. Maybe we should
All right,
leave.
let's go find Evelyn and then we'll discuss discuss what we have so far.
Good call,
What our
Mavis.
next
Good
moves
call.
are.
It's starting to come down. I'm starting to be a little bit more rational.
Yes, let's wait.
You know,
Let's wait
Mavis
on
is
any more
questioning Mike.
puff until we're done.
Did you want some, by the way?
I'll take one more for the road.
Here you go.
So Evelyn is while your that's going on, Evelyn is talking to Mike. What's Evelyn, trying to find out?
Well, just casually after thanking him for catching her when she fell and being such a great chef to cater this event that unfortunately seems to be ending in tragedy. She will casually mention how she noticed he was not at the table, which he knows she knows.
Yeah. So
And so she says to him, she goes, "Well, obviously, if you were that far away from your food table, you obviously must have seen something that made you want to go and investigate it. So, I mean, anything you can share would be delightfully."
well, I was actually gonna play in this tournament for a fresh start, the same one that the math teacher was playing for, but the organizers of the committee actually asked me to be the caterer, and I can't really say no. I mean, it's such a great second chance that Fresh Start gave me. I would have loved to play for them and win money for them. I'm kind of disappointed that Tony is not gonna win for us this time.
exposure. Your catering business is glorious. Like everybody is here, and the food, oh, excellent. I would definitely. You need to give me your card so that I can contact you for future parties.
So he grabs into his back pocket and grabs out like kind of like Mavis's tin, but his is one of these old school card holders, and he gives it to you, and the web page is on it and everything. And on the back it actually said it has information for Fresh Start on it. The Fresh Start Foundation, who helps give criminals a second chance to or ex-convicts, not just to make them learn some job skills so that they can actually then be self-employed if they can't find a job.
Oh, excellent, excellent. And she just drops it into her purse, which is like one of those big ones that looks like she's carrying bricks in it. But anyways, you were saying, Mike, about what you had seen when the lights went out, when the lights were going out.
I mean, I didn't really see anything. I was already on my way to talk to Tony because I was very disappointed in him. If I would have known that he was playing so badly, I would have played and would have let somebody else bring the I would have prepared the catering, but I wouldn't have worked the event. I would have played myself. So
Oh, I
I
see.
got caught unawares. I was already moving when the lights went out, and then I heard the pop of the gunshots, and the Vegas dude. Well, this is hard.
Right now, being someone who obviously you said you recognized the gunshots. Could you tell where they were?
Not really. This place echoes. I mean, it's just even with all these decorations, it's echoes. And he's like, I was also not prepared for any of this. I mean, who would think that people are shooting each other in this basically what's a senior event?
Well, yes, I know the mayor is old and his wife was a little bit, but the rest of us are all pretty young.
Pretty spry. Yes, ma'am, you are pretty spry. I'm just glad you didn't hurt yourself when you fell. I mean, broken hips are just unpleasant. My nana just, that really, she never really came back from the broken hip.
She just taps him on the shoulder. Just pants on the broken, boy. Pants on the broken. And says, "But thank you, Michael. I will talk to you again later."
Absolutely. Please
And she
watch where
goes
you
to find
step
the other
in.
girls.
And he walks off to the kitchen to get a bucket.
And Evelyn will go find the girls.
We're all
So
now,
now Murder
sneaking
Mavens
out of the
convene.
mayor's office.
Coming back into the community center. Luckily, nobody saw you leaving because nobody's supposed to leave, right?
Ruby just
On the way
tries
back,
to.
Mavis is gonna grab out of her car. She has a book on local flora and fauna, like that. It's gonna bring.
Okay.
On the way out, Ruby tries to close the door, just go, like it's not even attempting to latch, and just goes, and then just walks off.
Was just the nosy seniors again. So as you guys, come back in, you see that by now the veterinarian, is looking at the body because he's the moonlighting as the medical examiner. So, and the sheriff and the deputy are kind of just hush hush talking right next to it, and everybody is just mingling around, and the mayor is there with his wife. They're both talking to Dan Gardner, while Danny is very sneakily trying to overhear what they're saying, but they're not having any of it, because they know where the pretty girl is. Emilia is really pale. She's sitting at a table, and actually Mr. Martinez had brought her some tea, and he's talking to her. Mariah is with her cronies, gossiping, basically. And this is where, all of your suspects are at this point in time.
Okay, so briefly, Evelyn kind of gets in behind the girls, so they're kind of between her and everybody else, and she will take off her outer cardigan and then her second cardigan, and then she will switch them so that she's now looks to be wearing a different cardigan, and she will pull a scarf out of her bag, tie it on her head,
Yes.
and then she will give me a minute, girls, and then she will go over by the mayor and Danny and Dan and everything to try to hear what's going on.
Yeah.
I do
Now
love
that
when she
she
does
looks different and they won't notice her.
All right. Roll me a presence check with advantage, since you're Remington Steel.
God, it's horrible. 6.
6. All right. So, what you could do is you can either fail and get caught and learn nothing, or you could put on the crown of the queen and narrate us a flashback or a scene from the list, and we're gonna roll it back, and we're gonna give you 1 upshift to a success, but it's your choice.
I will pop on that crown
Mm-hmm.
as soon as I can find.
It's
what
right underneath
things-
your Maven move. It says the crown of the queen. Above your cozy little place, under your Maven move.
Yeah, but I don't keep all that stuff open because it slows down my computer.
Oh no. Well, you could narrate a flashback about your fondest memory of your late partner, how you were an imperfect sister or daughter, how you were an imperfect mother, your fondest memory with one of your children. Or you could narrate a scene in the present day showing a private side of you very few get to see, a burgeoning romance, or how you satisfy your physical desires.
Well then,
You can choose one of them. So there's 4 ways to narrate a flashback, and there's 3 ways to narrate a scene from present day, and it's all so that we can learn a little bit more about Evelyn.
I guess we'll do a scene where she was an imperfect sister.
Okay.
And the setting is Brindlewood Bay. Many moons ago, we see Evelyn and the girl who looks very similar to her, almost identical, but not quite. And they seem to be in high school, and something has happened that one of them, that isn't Evelyn, is very upset about. And as she's yelling at Evelyn, a teacher walks in with a group of students for a class. They appear to be in a gymnasium. And Evelyn moves with her sister, pulls her sister away into the crowd and toward whatever disaster has happened, leaves her sister by the disaster, and disappears in the crowd, pulling out a sweater from her bag and putting it on so she blends in with everybody else, and then just disappears into the crowd, leaving her sister to take the blame for whatever it is that happened.
Already early showing off the talent of passing herself off as someone she isn't.
Yeah.
Right, so now we learned a little bit as she flashes back to that time that she was an imperfect sister. And she remembers how, she managed to get into the crowd. Kind of manages to swing in and listen to Mariah and her cronies. And they're kind of being judgmental.
The mayor,
The mayor,
and
not Mariah, the mayor. Yeah, the mayor and the wife and Dan, they're actually talking about the charity that he supposedly played for, which is, the improvement of Brindlewood Bay County, which is a registered charity, but it's basically, the way Gardner lobbies for his stuff. And they're discussing a donation to the re-election campaign of the mayor from the Foundation for the Improvement of Brindlewood County.
Is that a clue for our clue list?
Yes. But as you hear that, before you can hear more or how much the donation would be, the wife turns around and looks at you and puts her hands on her hips and is like, "And now what do you want, you hussy? You cannot talk to my husband like he touched you again. He wasn't even close to you. So shoo." She mad. She called her a hussy. So you got caught trying to get close to the mayor.
Just listen here, you old cuck. Let's see what's going on with us. I wasn't even looking for you. I was looking for Ruby.
This doesn't. Do we look like Ruby? Do we look like red lipstick, and do we smell like weed? No. Follow the smell.
No, weed is a much better smell than the smell I'm getting over here. And she trails off at an angle towards the upside of the room and kind of circles around back to the girls.
While Evelyn was doing that, Mavis went over back to Amelia Emerson, the newt. She
Enthusiast.
thinks
Yeah.
there might be a little, the newt enthusiast, and because she's interested. We've got a lot of clues circulating, and we're definitely driving towards something, but a little more information might be helpful. And Mavis thinks that Amelia Emerson might be in the know. Set up a little clearer some motive and things of that nature. So she's going to go up to her and she says, Miss Emerson, I wanted to speak with you again because we had such a delightful conversation earlier about the eastern speckled newts that were found, the
Yes.
new ones, yes. And
Yes. I told you they give birth to life young. That is so amazing.
It is, and even more amazing is I have this book here. It's the Brindlewood Almanac of local flora and fauna, and it's a little bit of an older edition. I'm something of a birder myself, and it doesn't have anything on these newts, and I was hoping that you would be able to give me some information. I could start writing in. There's a couple of blank pages in the back of the book, printing purposes or something like that. And I was hoping I might be able to get some information from you on exactly what it is about them and how endangered they are and if they need to be protected and all that. And I could write it down.
So she perks up a little, and Tony Martinez, was kind of chatting her up and trying to keep her happy, and he's looking a little confused at what's going on. And she just perks up and she says, yes, they wouldn't be in the book. They were just found late last year in the fens. They're a rare part of the newt family, and they have never been found before in this area. So I am me and the charity, we are trying to set up a nature preserve because we want to make sure that they are not driven from the area, as they are rare creatures. They are endangered.
Of course. And regarding that, a nature preserve sounds wonderful, and if they are endangered, it seems to me like it would be a no-brainer to have it put in our area in the fens. So I was just curious, what exactly is it? Is there some sort of bidding war or something at stake that would be preventing that from just going through?
Well, don't want to speak out of turn, but yes, we have the lawyers have gotten involved because it is prime real estate, and we're trying to stop development of the area. It's just it's a lengthy process, and all the developers they use the expensive lawyers, so that's why I was here trying to win money for the charity for the upcoming battle, because we got to preserve these newts.
Very fascinating. I do hope that you are able to pull it all together in the end, dear.
Yes. Yes, I hope so too. But I don't think, they're gonna continue this tournament. I think that would be a little disrespectful.
Well, they'll still have to do something with the prize.
True, true. But it would be kind of morbid. I mean, poor Mr. Ace Rogers. I mean, he came all the way from Vegas. I mean, he would have been a stepping stone. But, I think I could have beaten him in the game.
I have every faith that you might have been able to do that.
I mean, if I was thinking, he was too good. I was just planning on turning in most of my chips for the charity anyways, and then just losing to make sure that, we get the most amount of money out of this. A little money is always better than no money. And, she picks up her cup of tea and drinks. And the math teacher, Mr. Martinez, looks over and says, thank you for taking her mind off of the murder. She was very shaken.
Of course, of course. All right.
I think Ruby's gonna the side eye to Mariah and just a heavy sigh. And just walk over. Mariah, darling, how are you?
Ruby, dear, bless your heart. I mean, I am so sorry you didn't make it to that final table. I know you would have loved to be close to the action.
Oh, you know me. There's always a little action wherever I'm at. I don't want to get caught up in pleasantries, what with a dead body and all. And I don't want to say we should bury the hatchet, because I think we both know that hatchet would be buried in each other's backs. Rather, I think we should work together today, because there's something that concerns us both. I want to find out who killed that poor man, and have a piece of information about the Fens and the mayor might be of interest to the Historical Society.
Hmm. I mean, there is that small cottage in the Fens that, we want to preserve. None of us wants to see that torn down. I mean, that has a local story attached to it and everything. Um, I mean, it's kind of morbid, but it is still history.
Of course, and history should be preserved. After all, that's society is there for. And
And when
I
and
have
when it
it on
comes to
good
this Mr.
authority.
Gardner, all right, enemy of my enemy is my friend for today.
Rather than friends, maybe just like no, not partners. That sounds weird.
Allies.
Not enemies. Temporary chums. All right. How about this? Did you see anyone when the lights went out and when they came back on? Did you see anyone that might have been holding a weapon, or happen to know why man Ace? He was here. It's kind of a local event. Isn't he a bit of a big shot?
I mean, I really, really did not agree with them bringing outsiders in, and I still don't know what the Society of the Kindly Ones actually stands for, or who is in charge of it. It was all a mystery, and I could not. Well, let's be honest. I tried to find out, but nobody knows anything. Well, now we can't even ask him anymore, can we?
It's quite suspicious that he happened to die right at the finals.
Yeah, right before it
Speaking to
started.
anyone before or during the tournament?
Throw me a meddling move. Presence at disadvantage.
That's going to end
You
well.
can do it. You can do it.
know about that. I'm not even rolling anymore. That was a 2 and a 1.
So you could put on a crown and upshift that to a success, but
Let's do it.
right, pick one of the flashbacks or the scene in the present days, and let us learn a little bit more about Ruby.
All right. Fondest memory. So I remember I was young once. And when I was young, let's say I had a bit of a jet-setting lifestyle. I went to various places around the world, sometimes for work, sometimes for pleasure. In this case, both took me to Morocco. While there, of course, you have to go to the casinos. It's practically required. It's practically the law there. So I went and I played a little bit of cards, and let's just say I got involved in a bit of a high-stakes game of poker. Dark, swarthy gentleman who had absolutely no poker face whatsoever. Reminded me of you, Mariah, darling. He could not bluff to save his life, and I took every penny off of him, and then I took him off to my room, and I took every piece of clothing off of him. I'll tell you, it was probably the best night of my life, because since he was so bad at lying, when he told me he loved me, I believed him. He'd been married for, 52 years before the good Lord brought him home. Always remember that night.
Learning something about her globetrotting jet set life in Morocco. Right. So as working Mariah, letting her into your life a little, Mariah's like, well, I didn't really see anybody, but I did hear a rumor. This is a success, but I heard a rumor that, Ace Rogers had previously fleeced one of the people in the tournament. I am not 100% sure who it is, but they said it was a female. Here you have another clue.
Appreciate it greatly.
That's all I
And go
could
back to
find
hating
out.
each other tomorrow.
Yes, with pleasure. With pleasure.
Indeed. Bless your heart, dear. Bye-bye.
Sure, sugar. And she's gonna go get a drink to wash that feeling out of her mouth. Like, oh my God, I talked to Ruby. I said we were allies for a day.
All right, who wants to talk to Danny? Because we all said that we need to, and none of us have done it. We all went and talked to other people. So,
I mean, Georgina has.
do you want to go talk to Danny while we're all talking to other people?
Sure. So, stick her foot bone in her pocket. Oh, probably stick the knife, the garden knife. She kind of, as we're walking past like a cabinet, she just kind of stuffs it in there, so there's no dirt evidence. Just kind of shuts the door. And like, well, oh damn.
Well-
Okay. All right. Heads over towards Danny.
And Danny is still over there trying to listen in on the mayor and
Okay.
Dan Gardner. But they keep stepping away from her because they can see her. That she's not that good, at hiding. She's too pretty to hide too. So she's kind of like pointing her chest at them with her buttons. And she's like, "Oh, Georgina, I hope you're okay. You were right there at the table when it happened.
Yeah, that was something.
Are you
How you were you seem to be a little more frontal today. Is there you just gonna point and just pointing them like you're Madonna now, right? Is that what's going on over here with you?
mean, if it helps, right? Uh, is there anything that you can tell me about what happened right before? I really, really, really need a good scoop. I really don't want to write all these feel good stories, fluff pieces anymore. This is my chance. You tell me
The one
anything.
that one you did on the kitten racing wasn't too bad.
Yeah, but that will never win me a Pulitzer, Miss Georgina.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, men are in charge of that. They ain't gonna give it to me if it's not something big like this.
What if some of these guys were working together to, I don't know, drain the swamp?
Drain the swamp. I think it's the mayor running for senator.
I don't know, but they look pretty cozy, don't they?
Yes, they do. I've been trying to get close enough to listen, but it's hard when everybody knows your face, And I'm not quite
Why do
sure
they?
what they're talking about.
What are you hoping they're talking about?
Well, something that will give me a clue on why Ace Rogers was murdered. He came all the way here from Vegas. Uh, is he with the mob?
Is he really Ace Rogers? Did you find out anything about him? Isn't that more your job to dig in and
I mean,
find out some good information?
he does
Can you
look
find out?
like all
I
the
mean,
pictures of Ace Rogers.
you're the only reporter here. If anybody's going to get close to that body, it's you,
Mm,
right?
well,
Like you're the only one with a badge that's not a cop.
yeah, with her press pass. Roll me some presents. See if you can
Not that
wheedle
exciting.
some information out of her.
Okay. Okay. What's my press? A 0. Okay, so an 8.
An 8. All right. This is a big one.
How about
Well,
talking to her reminds me of talking to my daughter.
yeah, if you wanted to upshift it with a crown to a success, yes, you could do that. You could probably, tell her something fond memories of you and your daughter, put on the crown and see if you can, get her to divulge some information to the nice Miss Georgina.
Remind me, did you ever meet my little girl Callie?
I mean, she was ahead of me in school. She was pretty cool though.
She's I didn't really. You know how you feel like none of these big old asshole. I mean, excuse my language. These jerks that they don't take you very seriously. And
Yeah.
I can feel that. My Callie, she wanted to be like her pa. My Carl, he was a fly fishing guide, and he could take anybody up the river. And Callie, she wanted him to be proud of her, but she's a vegetarian, and Carl could not handle the vegetarian. And she's like, but Poppy, I can't even eat the fish. And they went back and forth and ran around, and he wouldn't give her any time of day. And eventually, she figured out that by just being true to herself, and the day that she brought home, well, she brought home the first grow lights, and she showed us that her passion was growing marijuana. And I had never thought of anything. I kind of my basil plants were the talk of the town, my pesto. But when her and her father sat down and wired in those grow lights together, what I'm saying is she chased her passions, and I was so proud of her for that. And to his dying day, he was proud of her for staying true to herself. So you chase your grow lights. You go wire on in there and you get that information, young lady. Just like my girl. You got this.
So as you get through to Miss Danny, she kind of takes, something out of her little notebook, and she just covertly hands it to you, and she says, "Well, I did find some evidence in the books of the town. There might be some financial improprieties all the
No
way to
shit.
the
I mean,
all the way leading to the top, all the way to the top of the
oh,
mayor's
I
office."
knew you were good at your job, young lady.
I mean, there's some
I mean,
evidence, but it's not good enough yet. It doesn't really prove anything
well,
yet.
well,
He could still wiggle out of this and blame other people. There's no smoking gun attached to this or fingerprints or anything. So
well, you've got the mystery mavens on your side. We see like sees like game sees game. So you
and
keep at it, and you see these look at these. Look at what I found. She whips out her little flip phone. Look at this. You see these this was on a screen and back. Look at these names. I know there's a code in here. There's got to be a code.
and she looks at it and she's like, "Oh, yeah, these seem to be some interesting usernames.
Yeah, I saw
I
him on
mean,
a
Kick Your Butt 21.
right. It's got to
Yeah.
be everybody in this room, I bet. Anyway, thank you for trusting me with your hard-earned information.
Right. Let me know if there's anything more that you can find out.
I will. And you, I see why you're on to him. You just kind of don't follow with your eyes as much, or just try to be a little more, I don't know, subtle. Like maybe hold the cup or something.
Okay, I will try that. And she walks off to the catering table to get herself some punch. And so that was your last clue. Now it is time to come together and start theorizing and try and figure out who you think could have done this, and which of them, how are you able to put most of these clues into your narrative so that one of y'all can then roll and see, have you solved the mystery, or do we have to try again?
So, just to recap for ourselves and the audience, make sure we have
Yes.
all the we have all the clues written down because we've been putting them in this character keeper section. The clues that we have typed out specifically as clues are the black leather gloves on the floor with the gunshot wound, the laptop that was in the kitchen that was opened to like a dodgy, possibly illegal game, the blueprints for developments in the fen that we found in the mayor's office. This is going back because we typed them in this way. The bullet holes in the table next to the body, or the one bullet hole in the table. The printout receipt for an offshore bank account that was found on the floor to the table. I have written. I think it's just written as Danny's hidden camera. I don't know if we had a bigger.
Yeah,
clue than that.
there was
The
a
fact that
clue
she
that
had a hidden camera going
hidden
on.
camera in her button
Okay.
on her blazer. Yes.
The fact that there was a donation from Dan Gardner's charity to the mayor's campaign fund. The rumor that Ace had fleeced someone who was involved in this tournament, possibly or presumably a woman. And just now we got the fact that there's been some finagling of numbers. There's been some financial trickery in the mayor's office.
Yeah. Also, what you also found out, if you remember, when you were sitting next to Amelia in the very beginning, you found the clue that there's a lawsuit going on for the nature preserve to stop the development in the fens. That was
Gotcha.
an additional
Right.
clue.
All right. So, ladies, with all that evidence before us, I guess it's time to sort it out like Amanda Delacourt does at the end of all those books. So what do we think? Who do we think it points towards?
Well, I
I
mean,
know who I think it is, but
obviously, the people behind the whole thing are the mayor and Dan
Certainly.
with their little development plan and re-election campaign funds. But as to who actually pulled the trigger, my guess is actually the mayor's wife, as being the possible woman that was swindled by Ace.
Ah,
But
I hadn't. I had considered her maybe as one of the swindling targets. I wasn't thinking that she was the one who pulled the trigger, but that's very interesting.
yeah,
Ooh.
because I mean, if she is a swindle target, she would want revenge for it, and taking him out leaves a bigger chance for Dan to win, to then further support her husband's political desires, and which is also better for
And
her.
if the bullets came from above and she wasn't sitting at a table, that would make sense.
Yeah, because she's
Mhm.
been up on the podium by the podium, right?
Neither her nor the mayor were at the final table. Because
True.
remember, it was Georgina. It was Mavis, right? No, Evelyn. Evelyn and
Evelyn and
Georgina
Mhm.
were
Danny,
there. Danny was at the table. Amelia
Dan,
was, and no, not Amelia. Dan. One of them was,
Dan.
and then neither Mr. Martinez nor the mayor, because they both got kicked out, and Amelia was kicked out too.
Um, I don't
But
know. Would
if
would
they
there
sat at the
be like?
table, they could have still stood up.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I was originally thinking. Unless would there be like is there like a second story or balcony or something that she would have potentially been able to shoot from
no, this
in this
community
building?
hall does not have a second
Okay.
story.
It's just
So
like an
maybe
amphitheater, right?
No. But I imagine the podium where the mayor does his speech from, and where the mayor's wife has been sitting, is on a raised
Platform, yeah.
platform,
Mhm.
which would, and the final table would have been right in front of the platform,
true that.
right? Only
Hmm.
if it would have been like 10 feet maybe from the platform, because it would be at the center of everything. So she easily, when the lights go out, walk to the front of the stage, pop, and
Okay.
toss the gun to her husband or wherever, right?
Dropped it in her purse, in her handbag.
Possibly.
Is it just revenge, or is it perhaps that Ace was an impediment to the Fens project?
I imagine it was a little bit of both. It sounds as though the mayor was certainly looking for money for his re-election, which Gardner's charity would be able to funnel to him if he stood to win the prize money from the Ace was this mystery player who no one was happy about being here. Frankly, I don't think we've done anything to solve exactly what it was that he was actually doing here, and I don't think we will, but we know that he stood in the way of more or less everyone else as the ringer for winning the tournament. If he's taken out, that gives a better chance for Gardner to win things out, or for the mayor to be able to call the whole thing a wash, and they can decide how to divvy up the prize money however they like.
Here's the only thing I don't like. The fact that he fleeced a woman last year was only a rumor. I think he
But it
did
might not.
come last
It
year.
might have even been the mayor and his wife. It could have been one of their daughters, and not her specifically.
It might have also been a man, because
Yeah,
she knew that somebody was fleeced, but the rumor was it was a woman. So
yeah.
he
But it could have been one of their family members.
could have been a
And
man, could have been a family member, could have been
yeah,
Doesn't make any sense because he wasn't here last year. This is his first year at the tournament.
no, but at different in Vegas somewhere, right? At a tournament in Vegas or something.
or maybe
He
at
could
an
have placed
online
somebody.
poker game.
Yeah,
Online poker game. Oh, now it all comes.
but I mean, it points to the wife as being for me being the killer because one, she'd be the least likely to be suspected because, everybody would assume that the mayor doesn't talk business at home and she's just there and doesn't really do any of the political stuff and she's just the pretty face on his arm, right? And
So just as a point
So-
of clarification, from what I understand of this game, we're not necessarily going toward one particular perpetrator.
No.
It's just, can we come up with a good enough story, then roll well enough
To
for
make
to
it stick.
fit?
So you got to come up with a story that
Okay.
includes the most clues, because then the biggest math is you're gonna roll plus all the clues that you involved minus the difficulty rating of the mystery, which is 6, has been on top of the thing the whole time. And then you will have to for it to be the correct solution, it has to be a 10 plus, or a 7 to 9 is a correct solution, but there is a complication. On under 6 and under, it's incorrect.
So the printout from the offshore bank, the bookkeeping, the lawsuit, the blueprints.
the book,
How did
the receipt,
somebody
the
broke
receipt-
into but somebody broke into the mayor's office to take something. Did they break into the office to get proof of financial book cooking and things? Did Danny break in when
That's
somebody
what
got shot?
That's what I thought. I figured that we had seen that someone broke into the mayor's office, and then Danny admitted that, like, hey, I was sniffing around and found something. So I
mean,
I
Danny
Because
was
now that we
sitting at-
have that,
Danny was sitting
at
at the
least
table?
a story that we could link somehow.
But Emilia wasn't sitting at the table.
Yeah, Amelia
Okay.
could have been the one that broke in looking for evidence for the lawsuit,
Okay.
which would
That's
not
true.
indicate her, even though the evidence we found in the office is viable to the case. The person who broke into the office, Amelia, is not viable to the case for that aspect as to a reason why Ace got shot.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
I think everything she's just a side point to the bigger picture, right? Because everything leads back to the draining of the fen and
Mhm.
the mayor and
Right.
Dan, the developer. And I think the two of them are the main culprits behind it. But the twist could be the mayor's wife being the actual shooter, as being because if the mayor or Dan, it's too obvious that they kill him of their guilt, but nobody's going to suspect that the wife shot him because she has no connection to it, right?
Mhm. Going off
So
of what
a murder would completely distract the Danny as a reporter, right? If you know that she's looking for her big break,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
what better way
Mm.
to distract her from digging into the finances than the juicy murder of a celebrity poker player?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Going off of what you mentioned regarding the game earlier, Relle, looking for, what's going to be the best story that we're driving at as we're solving things. I think that this is it. I think that this I absolutely agree that Amelia feels like a sidebar. She's like one of our, characters who fed some clues and helped link everything together. I feel like our story is definitely Dan Gardner, the property developer, Jeff Simmons, the mayor, and as far as the story goes, I really like the twist of the wife being the one who actually pulled it. And I feel like we can link most, if not all, of our clues to that.
I think the person who actually pulled the trigger would have been the mayor himself. I'll tell you why. Because he went to Vegas and played a friendly game against Ace. That turned not so friendly pretty quickly when the mayor wagered money from his campaign funds. Lost it all. So he had to cover his tracks by cooking the books, making it seem like the money was still there. But then Ace showed up at the tournament this year and attempted to blackmail him.
Yep.
The
Which is the
mayor.
printouts and stuff beneath the table, like that were dropped because that was during. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So the mayor had to kill him so that he could freely push through the development from the fens and use the kickbacks from that project to recover, surreptitiously recover the campaign money and stay out of jail.
That's a good one.
That is a good one, and I like it. But I still think the mayor, with all these shady dealings, would be smart enough to know that if that bit of the story about him having lost to him in the poker match with his campaign funds got out, would make him a direct suspect for the murder, which is why I like the wife for the murder. Because whether she did it just to prove to him that she can deal with the problems that come up and she's not just a pretty face, or if he asked her to do it.
He didn't go to Vegas alone though. His wife went too. And he didn't know that Ace and his wife had linked up in Vegas, and he saw something between them that totally his logic brain kind of turned off. He had all this other stuff going on building, and either he caught them kissing something in the hallway or something before the tournament. He didn't know, but jealousy.
You think maybe she would have to prove herself to him that she was not, that he was more important, and that he manipulated her into shooting?
I got a simpler story.
He did it.
Simpler story. They did have a bit of a tryst in Vegas, and then he showed up, hoping to maybe re-spark something, but she couldn't have Ace doing anything or saying anything where it could get back to her husband.
It would jeopardize the campaign and the development and everything linked to him. It would jeopardize everything for Brindlewood Bay.
So the mayor wouldn't even know that she did it. She just did it to hide everything. Well, he's super shady too. But the only thing that we now have not accounted for is the laptop with the dodgy gambling website. Is that just a red herring, or is there a way that you guys want to weave that in?
No,
I think he was helping. I think Mike was helping. Mike and Tony.
It would have been Tony would be helping Mike with the gambling problem.
I feel like dragging.
I think Mike
that complicates things.
But as far as the murder goes, it'd be a red herring.
Yeah,
maybe it is just a red herring, but it put us on the rank. It put us on the tracks to the other gambling stuff, which
maybe Mike and Tony were gonna take him out first and got beat to it. Because Mike wanted to be in the game, but he couldn't figure out a way in, so he's catering it. His buddy's in there. They were gonna figure out a way to cheat, but then they couldn't figure it. Well, maybe Mike, you take him out. Somebody else did it.
What if this might? I know I just said it would make things complicated, but what if they weren't going to cheat? They realized that the mayor and Dan might be cheating and rigging. They were using the gambling website to practice and figure out what are all the ways you can work the wheels at gambling. What are all the underhanded methods you can use for a poker tournament? Because they have to know that these gambling websites do that all the time. So they're trying to figure out how the game could be rigged, what could be happening. And they didn't realize that the way it was going to be rigged was murder.
Yeah, and Martinez didn't even make it to the final table because of Regina.
Yeah. What if? Okay, now taking into the fact that the gambling stuff that we found on the computer is not related to the murder. More likely that having detected that something was going on with the mayor and that, Mike and Tony were taking bets from people online as to who was going to win certain hands in the poker tournament.
It's a good one.
So it's a completely side thing, just like the Newt girl, right? Important information, but not pertaining to the murder itself. But if we were doing an overreaching campaign, it would definitely be something that would come up at a later date as being important. But for this particular murder, we're just looking at those three people, the mayor, Dan, and the wife. I still like the wife for it, but I do also see the mayor as being the prime suspect as well.
I'm going to change my vote to the wife because I
Mhm.
do think that perhaps, there was something going on between her and Ace. And then when Ace showed up trying to reignite something, she had to just put a stop to it dead cold. Otherwise, everything could have gotten leaked to the
Yeah.
press. Husband's career would have been over. Development of the Fens could have gone to jail, maybe.
Yep. All of
Absolutely.
it. Yep.
Especially
I
if
agree.
they would have then put in she would have been under scrutiny. He would have been under scrutiny. They would have found out about his shady shit because she would know the shady shit too. So she's
Oh, yeah.
protecting herself, her lifestyle, and everything. All right. So
So
you
many
guys decide
kickbacks.
who is gonna roll for this. Well, I'm gonna count the clues.
Obviously,
What-
Georgie.
Yes.
Okay.
Also,
She's got the best rolls all
We'll
night,
put it
I
on
think.
you
so.
again. I
Okay,
believe
so
in you.
just as a question, are we adding anything to this? Would there be an advantage to anybody in particular rolling this?
no, it doesn't matter who rolls for it. That is completely up to y'all. It's in some places I'll let you know the chat vote, but today we're gonna let y'all vote. And I'm gonna say that the only thing the laptop has nothing really to do with it. But let's just say the hidden camera could be because she's digging into the finances.
The heat. That's part of the heat.
Subject and any
Yeah,
modifier.
and hoping to pick up
maybe
information that
to-
she can play back later.
So
Yeah.
maybe
So-
to link the hidden camera a
so,
little bit more directly, just as part of like when we're doing this sort of reveal of the theory. If we know the hidden camera, others might have too. And again, what better way to distract her from worrying about the hidden camera and what might be on it than throw all that
Murder.
away? There's been a murder.
So you have incorporated
Oh,
10
mhm.
clues. If we take away the difficulty rating of 6, you're gonna roll with a +4 to see if you have found the correct solution. Here we go.
No pressure. No pressure. Okay.
No
Go.
pressure.
Go, kind ranger.
6 and 1 is 7.
7.
Plus
Four.
plus
It's 11.
what? Plus 4 is
11.
11.
11.
That is good. 10 and plus. It's the correct solution. How do you guys want to take down your suspect?
Sheriff, we've done your job for you again.
Hello. You don't have to worry about my fingerprints.
Told you something stunk over there.
I mean, do you want to just tell the sheriff what you found? Do you want to do like a Columbo reveal?
I think we do a big dramatic reenactment in the middle of this crowd of people.
We let Danny know first. Do we give her
I'll be the
a
victim.
scoop? Do we
So she can film the whole thing, right?
I think we tell
Right,
Danny to
yeah.
make sure she
I
gets
think we give
information
Mike a
she's
heads
gonna
up
wanna
so
pay
he can
attention.
tackle her if she tries to run.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, we let Mike know that he
So
can
he can be the
and
hero.
stop someone
Yeah.
Yes.
run away.
You know what? I'll also walk over to the deputy that was fingerprinting me. Just let him know. Listen, we're about to do a summation. Could you just cover that exit there and make sure nobody can get out?
Oh, the murder Mavens solved the case again. Oh, this is gonna be good. And he just casually leans in front of the door, like not
That's
doing
great, thank you.
nothing.
Don't be afraid to use your taser. Right, girls, hit it!
Who's the?
Do you want us to actually go through this?
Absolutely, I want to hear
All
it.
right,
I
all
want
right.
you to do
So
it.
Evelyn will get up on the stage first with them. And she like,
I'll go to the table in front of this. Well, not in front of the stage, but like, one off from the actual murder table and just take a seat there. I'm the victim. Hello.
so tonight we were all astounded and devastated with the murder of Ace at our lovely little town poker tournament. And everybody's wanting to know who shot Ace. Why would they do such a thing? The nice man never hurt anybody that we know of. Well, and then she whips out a pair of sunglasses. As it stands, Ace was a professional poker player who, as rumor have stated, scammed some people out of some money at the tables. Now, rumor has it also, it may not have been money that was scammed off people. Regardless, and then she takes off her glasses and pulls her scarf out, puts it over her head. Along comes one of our Brindlewood Bay community members and meets this dashing young man and has a little tryst. And then all of a sudden, he shows up at our tournament out of the blue for no reason. That usually isn't open to outsiders. And this member of the community may have panicked a little bit because they were afraid that he might expose the situation, bringing even more attention to them and their family and their shady dealings. And by shady dealings, she shoots off scarf. I mean, the mayor and his plan to drain the fens and develop it with Dan. But no, the mayor did not shoot poor Ace. But his wife, who had been sleeping with him, certainly did.
Yes, indeed. Who knows whether it was love or just a bit of lust over the tables, but we did sleep together, darling. In character, you see. And I just knew I had to see you again, so when I heard about this tournament here, in this admittedly small but peaceful and lovely little town, I just had to come here and see you. You couldn't have that, could you? Not knowing that perhaps it might result in scandal. It might also result in a bit of deeper digging into your husband's life and his dealings. You couldn't have that. Because you knew that that digging might not just lose the lifestyle to which you were accustomed, but perhaps even your freedom. It was uncovered. He was taking kickbacks. Develop the fens. Make a shitload of money. I mean, it would have been so much. We saw the receipt. It's over there, Sheriff. It's under the table, that receipt over there.
Oh, no, actually, I have it. This is
sorry,
my part. This
sorry.
is my part.
Excuse me, nice sheriff, the evidence.
Mavis gets up on the stage next to the podium and calls out very loudly, How dare you come to this town and try to reignite that spark that we had back in Vegas? Haven't you ever heard that what happens there stays there? And come here threatening to reveal all of our dark secrets and my husband's financial improprieties and all of the things that he's been doing, and you come here waving around this receipt, and she reaches into her pocket and pulls out the receipt, and then very, leans over towards the sheriff and you're going to want to hold on to this, dear, and don't worry, you can fingerprint me later too if you really need to, but take this for right now, it's very important.
The mayor's looking at her like...
And doing all of this nonsense, and of course you can't have me back, in fact, and then she pulls up her finger guns and bang! Bang! But you see, she's never really fired a gun before. She's the mayor's wife, so of course she misses with one shot in the dark and everything, even though she's prepared it, and that's why you'll see that there is the bullet hole over there on the table next to poor Ace's body. Anyway, where were we? You can continue. I'm sorry.
Gina, anything to
walks
add?
over and she walks over and she leans over real slowly, and she takes her because at this point, she's got her gardening gloves on because she doesn't want her fingerprints anywhere, and she reaches down and she picks up the black gloves and she says, "Mrs. Simon, did you drop your isotoners? Because I think they're going to fit." And she just walks over and she drops them on the table in front of them. "They're not going to quit. The mystery mavens have got you."
Now do the pose.
And there's applause.
Let's forget the pose.
Mariah's like... the wife is like, "I would never..." And the mayor is yelling at her, how could you put everything in jeopardy?" And here comes the outro. Mystery Mavens have solved another case. All right. We're gonna go in the Discord order, which you know is Helix, B, Relle, True, and tell us real quick where everybody can find you and what was your favorite thing of the game today.
All right. I'm Helix. You can find me at Helix Missionary pretty much anywhere. Twitter, Twitch. You can find me doing some tabletop things, some video game things there. You can also find me on a fantastic podcast called 2 Weeks, One Shot. It's a tabletop RPG variety podcast. We play one-shots just like this in a variety of systems, releasing episodes every 2 weeks. It's usually, if you enjoyed this chaos, it's very much even more chaotic than that on our show a lot of the time. So it's a very fun time. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Just search 2 Weeks, One Shot or go on socials at Cast. And as for my favorite thing about the game tonight that we just did, I'm pretty sure it's that, like, low key we've discovered that there's like some sort of like weird weed empire being grown in Brindlewood Bay, which like we didn't really touch on in terms of that being a thing that we need to be concerned about. And I don't know if we do, but man, there's a lot going on related to that happening in town.
Yeah,
It's not weird. It's
Georgina's running the
it's
weed empire.
Georgina's are the grower, and it's the
Yeah.
Maven Medical Marijuana Center.
Apparently.
Yes, it is medicine.
It's for our glaucoma.
That's why we have a charity, right? That's where all the
Mhm.
profits go.
Mhm.
Unless you
Nope.
smoke them.
That's right. That's right. All right,
Which
B,
is
let
why
us
we
know
need
where
the
we
Which
can
is why we
find
need the
you.
charity.
Well, this Kind Ranger can be found on the Tweet app as Kind Ranger. I pop in here and there, and usually charity one-shots have been my thing lately. You can also catch me occasionally on the channel of Critical Misses, where we have a recurring series of spooky things happening. Stay tuned. I think Omni's going to be GMing soon. Yeah, that's what my favorite part. I really, really enjoyed the way where the Mavens clicked with each other. Like, that wasn't intentional. Like, of course, a lot of this was pretty last minute for as far as us as people like clicking in as characters. And that was just my favorite part. Like, that was a really cool click.
All right. Relle.
Oh boy. You can find me at youtube.com/RellePlays. That's RELLE plays. I basically make regular videos about a very obscure mobile match 3 RPG, but also started doing weekly roguelike videos as well as a weekly Dark Souls, which a lot of salt very recently, a lot of salt. As far as my favorite in the game, I would have to say Evelyn thinking that swapping cardigans and putting on a scarf would work
That's
as a
really good.
disguise. Just listen to that, and I was just like, yeah, you go for that. That's gonna be great. Oh, I think my only regret is that I didn't get a lot of interaction with Mavis. As I had some interaction with Evelyn and with Georgina, but not as much with Mavis. So if we ever do a part 2, we got to do a team up and go search for clues together.
Absolutely.
All right. True Wolf. Tell everybody where we can find you.
Usually in my ex-wife's basement, but if you're looking for me on socials, you can find me in True Wolf 140, True without the E. And I don't post much, but I mean, you can find me there if you're really desperate for someone to follow. As for my favorite parts, there was a lot of them, but I think the crowning moment was when the 3 Mavens broke into the mayor's office and then had a big conversation because they forgot they were in the mayor's office.
Total B&E, but let's have a freewheeling conversation about this right now, right here.
It's perfect.
We found a clue. That takes all precedence. We don't worry about where we found it.
Yes.
That's how it goes in those shows. You find a clue, you spend 2-3 minutes discussing it in the place where you definitely shouldn't be discussing it,
Mhm.
and then somebody comes along with a flashlight and is, "Who's there?" And then you skedaddle.
Absolutely. And yeah, hi, I'm Vivi of Vivacia. You can find me on the Twitter as Miss Vivacia, MRS Vivacia. Also, just like Kind Ranger, I'm like all over the place doing charity games. I am also in a Critical Misses show, but we haven't decided when to come back for the second season of the Good Society game yet.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a whole bunch of fun. And else, my favorite. Oh my lord. That is the hardest thing because there was so much hilarious things on it. I do love that this clicked so well, even though it was all very last minute and very loosey-goosey because my mom's here from Germany visiting, so I didn't give them so much information until like today, and everybody was like, and then it all just clicked and it just mashed so amazingly. I love that. And I love that we had so many red herrings that actually worked out so well. Like, oh, hey, he's a criminal. Maybe they did it. Oh no. What about this? What about that? And then in the end, you guys managed to put 10 clues together that I just randomly picked from the list. So yeah, that was super amazing. And now I'm gonna hand it over to Tensei so he can do our outro and let everybody know a little bit more about the Bard Rock Cafe. And thank you guys for coming and play with me. I had a blast. I love this.
It was fun.
Thanks,
Yes, it
guys.
was.
It was a lot of fun.
That was an amazing game. You guys have such synergy. My favorite part, I'm gonna get in on this too. I know it was such a simple thing, but the very end was like, do the pose, do the pose.
I was honestly expecting everybody to just do something different. That wasn't planned.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting like a Ginyu Force kind of.
Perfect.
No, y'all are amazing. Thank you so much. You are welcome back anytime. We do a lot of stuff that that needs guests. So keep an eye out.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fun.
This was the last game of the night. We have raised enough money that our editor will be able to not worry about everything. So, excellent job, everybody. God, I'm bad at this.
Okay. It's the end.
It's the end. God, woe is me. I've been watching roleplay for 2 days. Oh no.
It's like, so when is the next game gonna come up on Bard Rock Cafe? You guys have a normal game that you guys run in?
We do. The primary Bard Rock Cafe comes out whenever Spotify tells me it comes out. It's twice a month. God, I want to say it's every other Monday. Paul's not listening to this, or he would correct me because he's the one that actually does the scheduling.
And then when there's the next live stream?
We do live streams every other Friday. So we just did one yesterday, or every other Saturday rather. Sorry, so we just did one yesterday for Masks. So 2 weeks will be another Masks game. We're about finished with that, and then once we are done with that, we're gonna go into doing Spelljammer.
It'd be so cool.
With also
yes.
with also like half the crew being guests and not part of the main story. So the plan with that is also to do like 10-ish episode arcs and like trade out people every 10 episodes or so and just kind of do different stuff in a sort of Star Trek different ships kind of way.
That is really cool. So if you're watching, you hear that, come back in 2 weeks and watch some masks.
Yeah, come back in 2 weeks, watch some masks. We're I don't know, we're having fun. Last session was so great. It was like there was no combat. Nobody fought anything, and it was just all role play and all absolute nonsense. And me being an asshole to my teammates because I'm like, God, I really don't want to do this, but you fucked up, and I'm gonna make you feel guilty now.
One of the best episodes. Just role play.
Yeah. Oh, some of the best episodes of shows that I've seen have no dice rolling. It's great.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. I also want to give a shout out to the person who provided all of the lo-fi music that we have heard during breaks. Dungeon Glitch. You can find them on Spotify and Bandcamp and Apple Music and Google Music. And he didn't give me a list of things. He just literally said everywhere that you can find music. So go check him out. He's got a lot of good stuff. Most of the break was literally me just playing his discography on shuffle.
Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm gonna say goodbye because I don't know how to do a proper outro to an outro.
The Ferris Bueller thing.
Yeah.
Follow Bar
What do you
Talk
still-
Cafe on Twitter.
Like and subscribe. Yeah.
That's right.
Ring that bell.
Exactly.
I'm not on camera. You can't see the stupid face I made.
Right. Ferris walks out of the shower. What are you still doing here? It's over. Go home.
Go home. We're all going to bed now. And thank you guys
Yeah.
again. It was so much fun.
Absolutely. had a
Thanks,
blast.
y'all.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Everybody.
Post.